Okay, hello, day 4, let's go. What's a tutorial of how to farm? Okay, yeah, tutorial of how to farm in League of Legends. Okay, I had it prepared. Okay, by the way, or not fixed, but improved the audio quality. I hope you can hear me better. And yeah, let's just watch the video. It's almost half an hour, so perfect for me because I usually spend half an hour on these tutorial videos from the beginning, so perfect. I guess I'm just gonna watch the first one. I watched it once. Looks like I watched it, but I don't remember anything, so I'm just gonna watch it again.
You're
And
going
now
to learn
I shut up.
exactly.
And now I shut up. I mute myself so it doesn't sound the echo. Yeah, I liked it even. That's crazy. 1 year ago? Damn. I don't remember at all this video. Okay, I set up. Let's go to the video. I mute myself as I said. Bye.
Why you suck at farming in League of Legends in simple, easy to You're going to learn exactly why you suck at farming in League of Legends in simple, easy to apply ways to fix it. My name's Hex, I'm a multi-season challenger player that's been teaching League of Legends here at Skillcapped for over 10 years. And if there's one thing I've learned in that time, it's that getting good at farming is one of the fastest ways to climb ranks. The problem is there are tons of myths and misconceptions around farming. The biggest myth about farming is that having high CS numbers means being good at CSing in the laning phase. Getting insane farm leads actually mainly comes from macro in the mid game. Let me explain. One minion wave is worth 125 gold on average. That is until the 15-minute mark, where one minion wave is worth 147 gold on average, meaning they become 18% more valuable. This is because at the 15-minute mark, siege minions begin spawning every 2 waves instead of every 3, increasing the average gold value. And finally, at the 25-minute mark, each minion wave becomes worth 195 gold on average. Again, this is because siege minions now spawn on every single wave. That's a 33% increase in gold. Now, while minions themselves become worth more gold, you as a champion actually outscale them too. You get more items, which means more damage, which means you can clear those waves even faster. And you'll have boot upgrades, meaning you can move faster to take other things on the map. Here's an easy way to visualize this. So, every 30 seconds a wave spawns. In the early game, if you last hit 2 waves perfectly, you would get 12 minions in 1 minute. However, later on in the mid game, you can clear waves and move so fast you could clear 1 wave, then go and farm nearby camps and get back to the next wave. Or you could clear 1 wave, then rotate to an empty lane to pick up the wave there. Both of those scenarios allow you to potentially double that 12 minions in 1 minute to 24. It gets even crazier, because when towers fall, it means you can move up the lane while farming multiple waves. This means you're clearing waves faster since you're not waiting for those minions to get to you like in the early game. Instead, you're saving time by moving further up the lane, clearing that next wave sooner. Eventually, you hit a tower or a point in which you can't continue moving forward, but again, you can then rotate to take jungle camps, or simply recall, and if a lane is pushed to your side, you can push that out, farming at an accelerated rate by moving up the lane while you clear waves. Basically, what this means is that when it comes to farming, the early game is more about not falling behind rather than CSing perfectly. This is because if you fall too far behind, it will make you slow in the mid-game macro phase since you have less items and you'll clear waves slower. You won't be able to start taking jungle camps as early on, while also having to play around more enemies that are stronger than you, which means you can't push a lane as far up. If all of that isn't convincing enough that big farm leads are created in the mid game, then the cherry on top is death timers. Early on, dying doesn't really result in missed farms, simply due to the fact that death timers are so low, while you'll also spawn with home guards. However, in the mid game, death timers are going to be 30 seconds or longer. And since you can farm at that accelerated pace as we just covered, it means each one of those seconds are incredibly valuable. So if the first biggest myth about farming is that it happens in the early game, well then the second biggest myth about farming is that everyone should be aiming to farm 10 CS per minute. In reality, your CS per minute should be entirely determined by the champion and role you're playing. For example, Master Plus top laners that play Tryndamere average 8.5 CS per minute. Compare that to Master Plus top laners who play Malphite that average 6.34 CS per minute. The difference in CS per minute is caused by, surprise, a difference in in mid-game macro strategies. In the mid-game, Tryndamere can push a side lane into then farming jungle camps easily between waves due to his high damage per second. However, Malphite doesn't have that high DPS, he's more about burst and tankiness, and so his main macro strategy will be pushing a wave, then roaming off that timing to get takedowns. So make sure you have reasonable expectations for the champion and role you're playing. Now, here's the thing, regardless of the macro strategy you implement or the champion you play, if you want to improve your farming, then you absolutely need to understand the essential concept of dead time. Dead time applies to both laners and junglers, but it's easier to understand if you look at a jungle example first. Don't worry, we'll be showing laning examples after. So, at its core, dead time is a simple concept. When a jungler, such as this Talia, farms her entire jungle, there's a period of time she has to wait until her camps start spawning again. This is what's called dead time because it's when all the camps are dead. The reason why it's so valuable is that any play she makes during this time has much lower risk, since if it doesn't work out, she didn't give up any farm to do it. It's basically the most efficient time for you to fight. Now, here's why dead time is such a secret killer if you don't understand it or use it. So, when Karthus respawns, he heads to the bot side scuttle. This is perfectly fine. However, notice how his camps are beginning to respawn, he's hitting the end of his dead time. Yet, he's not aware of this, and is going to make the mistake of trying to make plays outside of his dead time. This will pretty much single-handedly lose Karthus this game. Let me explain why. So, he finally farms the scuttle, and then after decides to invade. When you do something like this, trying to make plays or fight outside of your dead time, it has two downsides. First, it's riskier because if he dies or it doesn't work out, he's going to lose the golden experience he would have gained if he farmed those camps. In this case, he could have farmed his Gromp, which is worth 80 gold. You then also have to factor in the time it takes to walk all the way back to his camps, which is approximately the time it would take him to farm his wolves. And that wolf camp is worth 81 gold. So you can think of it as him risking 161 gold right now to go for this play, since that's what he would have gained if he just AFK farmed. Secondly, it actually means any positive play he makes will be less valuable. Raptors are worth 81 gold. However, when you steal a camp, it's worth double, since you also deny that amount of gold from the enemy. So, Karthus stealing this camp was worth 162 gold. However, remember, he could have just farmed Gromp and wolves during this time, which is worth 161. So, he literally risked 161 gold to gain 162. Going for this play got him 1 additional gold compared to if he just AFK farmed his jungle. Are you starting to see just how hard it is to be efficient with your gold generation when you force plays outside of your dead time? Basically, Karthus would have had to not only steal the Raptor camp, but also kill Talia for this play to end up being worth the risk. You can think of when your camps are alive, or as you're going to see shortly, a minion wave has arrived in lane, as your time to farm. Good players look to get past this farming time as fast as possible to maximize the amount of dead time they have to then look for plays. Dead time is a complete game changer once you start using it. And I'm actually really curious to hear from you guys, what's the one thing that you've learned that gave you the biggest boost to your win rate? Let me know in the comment section below as I read all of your comments. And speaking of boosting your win rate, if you want to learn how to carry bad teammates and finally rank up, then you absolutely need our brand new Season 14 multi-chapter courses teaching you how to carry as a top laner, jungler, mid laner, AD carry, and support. Pair that with our other new courses on how to counter OP top laners, OP mid laners, master your jungle clears, or check out our new Bronze to Diamond series. It doesn't stop there. We have new Season 14 courses on macro, wave control, trading, settings and hotkeys, CSing, vision, mechanics, low elo mistakes, the list goes on. Then head on over to our Smurf commentaries. Select your champion to watch live commentaries from challenger experts teaching you how to carry out of the exact rank you're stuck in. You can try all of this out completely risk-free, since if you don't rank up while actively using skill cap, you'll get your money back. No questions asked. You can unlock all of this right now through the discount you can only get from the link below. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below to get the rank you've always wanted. Alright, now you've probably heard of the concept of tempo before. Really good news. Now that you understand dead time, it's a lot easier to understand tempo. A really easy way to understand tempo is to identify who is going to get to their dead time first, since that's the best and most efficient time for someone to go for a play. Notice how after this Raptor steal, Talia only has 2 camps left, while Karthus will have 4. This is what's known as a tempo advantage. This is another hidden downside to forcing plays outside your dead time. If it didn't result in a loss of farm, it probably resulted in a loss of tempo. So, by the time Talia enters her dead time, she's now in a perfect position to take the Void Grubs uncontested, since Karthus is behind in tempo and still farming his wolves. And after Talia finishes the Void Grubs, she's still in her dead time, ahead in tempo, so she gets that super efficient dead time gank on mid lane. Meanwhile, Karthus still stuck in his clear. This tempo advantage Talia has will be permanent, by the way. She won't lose it until she makes a mistake that results in a loss in her tempo. Now, after Karthus full clears, he recalls, then grabs his blue and looks to gank bot. This is actually great, since he's looking for a gank during his dead time. But look what he does after. Despite his camps respawning, he's going to force Dragon outside of his dead time. Remember, this means this play comes at a higher cost, making it less valuable than taking it during dead time, while also coming with a higher risk. So, when Talia ends up punishing him and it all goes wrong, well, now Karthus is insanely far behind. This single mistake of not playing around dead time not only threw Karthus's early game game, but is a big reason why Talia ended the game with 9.7 CS per minute, while Karthus only had 6.4. Now, as we mentioned, everything you just learned also applies to laners with minion waves. For example, it's why a good recall timing involves pushing the wave first. The time it takes for the next wave to arrive is your dead time as a laner, so you're executing your recall during your dead time, allowing you to get back to lane without missing any farm. It's also why a bad recall timing is recalling without pushing a wave first, or in other words, recalling outside of your dead time, as now that recall costs you an entire wave of gold and XP. It's also why a good roam timing involves pushing the wave first and then roaming during your dead time. This way, you get back to lane without missing farm, while a bad roam timing is forcing a play outside your dead time while the wave is still alive. And just like the Karthus example, this comes at a higher cost and risk, the minions you could have farmed instead. For laners, the cost is usually easy to calculate. Every 30 seconds a wave spawns, and a wave before 15 minutes is worth 125 gold on average. So, the fact that this roam took Fizz 1 minute, that's equal to 2 waves or 250 gold, nearly a kill. Even if Fizz got a kill on this roam, he risked 250 gold just to gain 300 from the kill, an extra 50. It's the exact same issue the Karthus had, it's just really hard to be efficient fighting outside your dead time. The key difference between a laner and a jungler's dead time in the laning phase is how frequent and how long it will last for. Junglers have to full clear, so it takes a while to enter dead time, but when they do, they're in it for longer. Whereas laners get possible dead time every 30 seconds between waves. However, that dead time is much shorter. This shorter dead time for laners leaves them more vulnerable to making really common mistakes. So the first mistake they make is not understanding the concept of a half roam. You see, if you go for a roam on a nearby lane, it's rare to be able to do that fast enough to get back to your own lane on the next wave. In other words, expect to lose at least one wave and possibly give a turret plate to the enemy if you want to roam. So instead, you should imagine that around halfway into the river is how far you can roam to without losing minions on the next wave. For this reason, you shouldn't push into immediately committing to roams. You should do what's called a half roam. A half roam looks like this. You push to enter dead time, then go halfway. Check the state of the nearby lanes. If they're gankable, you commit. If not, you head back to lane. The nice thing about this is it applies a ton of pressure to the enemy team since they don't know if you're committing to the gank or not. This will make it incredibly hard for them to play aggressive, so in a way you get to protect your laners, while if they do die, you're there to commit to the roam and clean up. What's even better though is that you can turn these half roams into fake roams where you look to gank your own lane. This will be done either from the enemy laner trying to follow your roam while you jump them from the brush, or you just let them think you've committed to the roam, so they overextend to start farming or pushing, only for you to then gank them from a weird angle they weren't expecting, often resulting in a kill you otherwise wouldn't get if you lane normal. Basically, there's two parts to this mistake. Roams are not free, even when you push waves, so don't commit to roams unless you're extremely confident it's gonna go right. Don't force it. At the same time, if you never look for roams off your dead time and you just sit in lane AFK, well, you're basically wasting your dead time completely. You should be consistently looking to half roam and clear wards and put down pressure that way. The second mistake players make is not understanding the power of the smother technique. Here, you're gonna see Tristana get a really good trade where Fizz ends up super low in health. A common mistake players make here is tunneling on this kill. You have to realize, if Fizz never recalls, he's inevitably going to either die or just get zoned off a ton of farm basically forever. At the same time, with Fizz this low, Tristana is under no threat, so she gets to focus on farming perfectly while possibly getting tower plates off pushes. Not to mention, Tristana will always be able to react to fights first and impact them way more than a low health Fizz. This is known as the smother technique, and Faker uses it all the time to get big leads in solo queue. Instead of forcing anything, you just patiently let them bleed out over time. Now, here's the secret why this is so good for farming. It often baits someone, like the enemy jungler, to try and help their losing laner, a big mistake you can then punish. When the enemy laner is so low in health, you're trading kills at worst and at best getting a double kill like this. The reason this is so good for farming is you don't have to waste time having to roam to fights. You're sitting in lane getting maximum farm while winning fights come to you. Essentially, if you're in a really strong winning position in lane, don't tunnel on getting the kill, and don't be scared of being ganked. Use the smother technique, let the enemy stay in lane, while you get to focus on CSing, taking tower plates, and waiting for a winning fight to either break out near you or come to you. This Tristana basically used these two concepts you just learned to generate insane leads. Shortly after, gets a gank from Nunu, doesn't get the kill, so begins to pivot to the smother technique. Clears the wave to enter dead time, and spots Lee Sin within that range we taught you earlier that lets her roam without missing CS. Picks up the kill, and is back to lane in time without missing any farm. Fizz is still low in health, so we can default to smothering. He gets forced into a bad recall timing, so that's easy turret plates and denying farm to the tower. Then, simply push the next wave to set up an efficient recall during their dead time. Now, one advanced trick you can use as an exception to utilizing dead time is to take a winning fight when a wave is pushing into you. This is because if you leave your lane, you won't actually miss much CS, as the enemy's bigger wave will trick then and is back to lane in time without missing any farm, Fizz is still low in health, so we can default to smothering. He gets forced into a bad recall timing, so that's easy turret plates and denying farm to the tower. Then simply push the next wave to set up an efficient recall during their dead time. Now, one advanced trick you can use as an exception to utilizing dead time is to take a winning fight when a wave is pushing into you. This is because if you leave your lane, you won't actually miss much CS, as the enemy's bigger wave will just be killing your minions. The reason why this is advanced though is it's extremely situational, and the timing can vary widely based on how big the wave is and the position in lane. For example, here a big wave is pushing towards Fizz. Usually we can't leave lane here since we're in our farming time, not our dead time. But when Viego shows at our Raptors, that's really close to us, and we can leave and barely lose any CS due to it pushing to us. This is risky since if you die, you'll lose that big wave to your tower, so you better be confident you actually win the fight. At the same time, with that wave being so big and so close to Fizz's tower, he has a very small window, so after the fight, he needs to get back to lane as fast as he can. The closest jungle example of this advanced concept would be doing what's called a transition gank. If you have all your camps up, you can farm one quadrant, then transition gank mid as you're still moving to your bot side camps. It's a really efficient gank. You just lose a few seconds since you took a longer path and have to fight, but it is obviously worth it if you get a kill. However, again, keep in mind, this is riskier, since if anything goes wrong, you're losing those camps you could have farmed during that time, so you have to be very confident the gank is going to work. Now, as we mentioned at the start, the mid game is really when you can generate massive farm leads. However, before we can even get into macro tactics, you need to make sure you're following two rules in the mid game. The first rule is to always play around your team's map pressure. Notice how in this example, for the blue team, Leona, Kassadin, and Jhin are all off the map. They aren't pushing or pressuring any objectives. When your team has no map pressure like this, that's when you really want to transition to playing a bit more safe and focusing on farming as much as possible. Notice how Set is playing out of sync with his team's pressure, so naturally he's gonna die. And it's really obvious why this happens when you look at the enemy's point of view. They literally can't see any other enemy besides Set. It's like moths to a flame. Now, compare that to Talia. She plays in sync with her team. They have no pressure, so time to just focus on farming. Notice how as she transitions mid, her team is looking to fight, but again, Set is dead right now, and there's a wave mid that needs to be pushed. It's all completely out of sync. So just continue farming, waiting for Set to respawn. Now, just like in the laning phase, we're in our dead time, and it's perfectly timed with Set respawning. Great, we can start looking for plays, and what do you know? An insanely efficient kill. This exact same pressure concept applies to laners too. For example, here, Tristana is pushing a wave mid, but we can see our bot lane is recalling. That means no map pressure from two teammates. You'll always have two ways to farm safely in these spots as a laner. Tristana can either take nearby jungle camps between waves, Raptors in this case, or if another lane has a wave getting pushed to your tower, simply rotate to that lane. Picking up that wave is literally making you farm twice as much as every other laner since you're doing it in your dead time. Just always be conscious of your team's map pressure. If you have none, that's your time to focus on farming. The second rule you have to follow in the mid game is to always go to empty lanes. This applies to both junglers and laners. For example, after Talia recalls here and is heading back onto the map, she can see her bot lane is looking to roam top with Kassadin. That means mid lane is empty. Before you do anything, always try to push out an empty lane first. Remember our previous lesson about waves and dead time in the laning phase. You should now know how bad it is to try and roam without pushing a wave first. Well, when there's an empty lane you can easily farm, then any play you make now becomes more risky and less valuable, since you could have just farmed that wave instead. So head to that empty lane and push the wave. It has a great bonus effect of now forcing an enemy to go to that lane to pick up the wave. This pins them down temporarily while they farm, giving you potential number advantages. And if they don't go to that lane, well, that's now a wave they've lost to the tower, so you're just getting ahead and farm. You can see Talia then picks up the nearby camp. This follows our previous rule. We have three teammates who have no pressure topside. By the way, when I say pressure, I'm saying the enemy has to respond to what our teammates are doing or they're going to lose something. Right now, Kassadin would have to push all the way to the inhibitor tower before there's really any threat, or in other words, pressure. Anyways, when there's no pressure, we focus on optimal farming, so Raptors into Scuttle makes perfect sense. The next mid wave is arriving, as is solo queue. Jhin is completely unaware that this empty lane needs to be farmed before minions start dying. So that's another empty lane we can push. Back into our dead time, the entire team is off the map except for Kassadin, so we're still focusing on farming. That means taking our red. Now, a bit of a weird spot. Set is still dead, so no map pressure. Jhin is heading mid, so we can't take the wave there. Top wave is obviously too far away, and bot wave is super pushed up, so really risky going to that empty lane right now. So a tiny bit risky, but we look for a sneaky blue steal, using our sweeper to make sure the enemy doesn't see, and positioning as safe as possible since we have no other option. Now, I want to make it clear, pretty much every tactic and strategy in the mid game is always going to rely on you paying attention to the minimap map and identifying where people are. I don't want you guys to think you can just do all these things without paying attention to the map. For example, we saw Urgot topside, and we see Pyke and Tristana mid. That means the only two enemies missing are Miss Fortune and Karthus, and we're stronger than both of them right now. We also have a key ward here to protect us. That's how Talia knows it's no longer risky to go to this empty lane that's pushed up. If we go back and instead a bunch of enemies were missing, well, she can easily just fall back on farming her raptors and potentially topside camps after. You can actually see these adjustments in real time. Karthus shows on our ward, but Miss Fortune also shows at raptors. So we know it's only Karthus, who isn't really a threat. We can push the next wave and get some turret damage. But as soon as Miss Fortune disappears heading towards us, Pyke is missing, Karthus is missing, and Urgot running towards us, yeah, that's our time to back off. Now, remember how I said earlier in this Talia game she ended with 9.7 CS per minute, while Karthus only had 6.4? Well, let's just take a look at what Karthus did during that exact same time. Karthus, much like Talia, starts the sequence leaving base. Heads to his wolves to farm. Makes sense, 2 teammates are dead, so no pressure, time to farm. Then heads to his Gromp. Immediately, he's not following the empty lane rule. You don't want to be funneling waves to your support here. There's a free wave mid he can pick up into then either farming his top side or heading back towards his Gromp bot side. So he's already lost farm. Now, after Gromp, he heads bot to hold the push, which follows the empty lane rule, so this is correct. Cool, now his Miss Fortune is heading towards bot side. It's no longer an empty lane. If we look at the map, we have no one mid, so we can anticipate that's the next empty lane we'll need to head to after this wave. But you can see he's completely unaware of this concept of empty lanes, wasting time literally doing nothing while a wave starts dying to his tower mid. Then, Miss Fortune decides she doesn't like seeing colors and runs off to turn her screen gray. Karthus follows his bad teammate's call and immediately gets punished. Now, I know some of you are thinking, hey, that's not fair. Miss Fortune totally baited Karthus. Well, hold on, earlier we literally saw the same thing happen to Talia in an identical position. Her set running off to int in a similar manner, but instead of following, she just goes to her next farming location. Both players had teammates with stupid deaths. Talia just knows not to follow. So, Karthus respawns, and again, if we take stock of the map, it's clear bot lane is our empty lane we need to head to. Instead, Karthus chooses to ignore this completely, which is actually why Talia is able to get tower damage and deny a massive amount of minions to the tower. You can see how these two simple rules in the mid game are the main reasons why Talia ended with so much more farm than Karthus. Alright, and now that you understand those two rules, let's get into the tactics you'll be using in the mid game. So let's say you're following the empty lane rule and starting your push. The ideal goal is to push the wave to the enemy's tower. Remember, this is what causes a threat. You're not only threatening to both take the tower, but also for those minions you push to be denied by dying to the tower itself. If the enemy sends no defender, or a weak defender, well, you always want to look to punish by either taking the tower or tower diving. However, once the outer towers are down, you do have to be more cautious overextending. Remember to track your team's map pressure and the enemies. When your team has no pressure and enemies are missing, well, you want to default to pushing into farming jungle camps. And if there's no nearby camps, you can't go wrong simply recalling to spend your gold in these spots. However, if you're pushing a wave and the enemy sends a defender you can't tower dive and it prevents you from taking the tower too, well then check your map. If you see that your teammates do have pressure, well that's your signal to do what's called a push into roam. By pushing first, you pin an enemy down, giving you a temporary number advantage when you roam. That being said, you don't force it if a winning fight isn't there. For example, before, when Tristana pushed bot into farming, she ran out of nearby camps and so transitioned into a roam on mid. However, remember that number advantage is temporary, so once Jhin and Nami finish catching that wave, they're now mid, and the fight is now a number disadvantage for Tristana. But just remember the rules, there's now an empty lane bot, so off we go. Keep in mind, Tristana's team is literally forcing a 3v5 here over a Rift Herald while there's 2 empty lanes mid and top, and jungle camps topside. That's fine and will happen all the time in solo queue. As long as you're the one pushing that empty lane, you get massively fed from the minion waves and towers you can pick up. And so there you go. All you need to do is follow the first 2 rules. 1, farm when your team has no pressure, and 2, push empty lanes. Once you're pushing those lanes, you just cycle between 3 tactics. 1, if the enemy has no defender or a weak defender, push to take the tower or tower dive. 2, if the enemy has an actual defender and your team has no pressure, then push into farming camps, head to another empty lane, or simply use it as a recall timing. And 3, if the enemy has an actual defender and your team has pressure, well then push into roaming for a number advantage fight could be a good idea. Don't force it though. If there isn't a good fight there, just head to the next empty lane. Usually it's the lane you were just in from the wave being pushed back. Now, I want to address the 3 most common issues and pain points players have when it comes to what you just learned. The first one is that they can't do this because as soon as they go off to farm or pick up a wave, their team just forces a fight and dies. It's a misconception that the winning team fight is worth more than pushing an empty lane. For example, in that previous Tristana clip, the enemy team here got 1 kill, that's 450 gold from the kill and assist, and then a Rift Herald, that's 200 gold. Tristana, at the start of the sequence, has 9,300 total gold. She then ends it with 10,400. She just gained 1,100 gold, and that's not even shared. It's all funneled on her. It's not even close. So don't make the mistake of thinking your team dying while you push is bad. You'll actually be incredibly farmed and in a great position to carry if it keeps happening. Now, the second thing players say is that they can't push a lane because some fed assassin, like Evelyn or Nocturne, just deletes them. There's two solutions to this. Firstly, and some of you might not like to hear this, but this is actually because you need to improve your early game. If the majority of your games involve you behind multiple enemies by the mid game, then you have mistakes you need to fix prior to that point. Those types of champions won't be a threat if you're entering the mid game as the strongest player in the game. Still, I fully realize that's not always achievable every single game, even if you play perfect. Sometimes your teammates feed so hard your own lead won't be enough to compensate. That's where our second answer comes in. It's okay to die to them. In fact, it can sometimes be your best play. For example, in this game, the enemy Kassadin is fed, and Kassadin is a pretty tough matchup for most AD carries. And yet, you'll see me go into a side lane against him, get baited into thinking he roamed or recalled, and quickly gray screen. Here's the thing. Notice how as I die, my team gets a winning fight topside. The reason why this works is that when someone is sent to defend you that is stronger than you, well, that almost always means that if you had grouped a team fight and they did too, well, they would have had more of an impact in that fight by being ahead. By dragging a fed enemy to the side lane, it pulls them away from objectives and team fights, giving your team a way back into the game. At the same time, you'll see once I respawn and head to push again, Kassadin groups mid to team fight instead. Cool, that means we get a ton of free farm from the empty lane rule, which then immediately forces Kassadin back bot, preventing him from being able to do something after he won that team fight. Recall and back to the side lane. Again, pulling Kassadin, you can start to see how I'm starting to get strong enough to potentially win the fight and outplay him. In this case, I even pull Lee Sin, and Lux too. This is fantastic. It's delaying the game as the enemy isn't able to take as much off the map with their lead as they're constantly being delayed by having to go bot and deal with me. And once I respawn, back bot we go, putting down pressure. Kassadin, the most fed member, matches us, and again, we nearly kill him. We keep getting stronger from farming those empty lanes. In the meantime, we lured Kassadin bot, put him low so he has to recall, and jinx bot side. This not only, again, delays the game, but gives our teammates a number advantage that results in 2 kills topside, into then actually getting a pick on the Kassadin. It's like an invisible passive buff you give your teammates to increase the odds of them winning fights. By continuing to delay the game this way and getting ourselves farmed, it will inevitably lead to us just being a terrifying threat in the side lane, being able to now kill pretty much every defender. And often what happens is that the enemy just gets so frustrated not knowing how to end the game, they start forcing fights, like this Kassadin, and one misstep in the late game means super long death timers, and that means an end to the game. I should also mention the reason why delaying the game like this is so effective is due to the concept of gold inflation. In League, having early gold leads are much more impactful because they represent a larger percentage of the total gold in the game. For example, if someone has 6k gold and you have 3k gold for a 3k gold lead on you at 10 minutes, well, that means they're 100% more powerful than you in terms of items. But if that same person has a 3k gold advantage at 25 minutes when you have 13k gold and they have 16, well, now they're only 16% more powerful than you. And it goes without saying, when everyone is full build, then gold leads don't even matter at that point, as you can't convert that extra gold into items. Long story short, win behind early just by delaying the game, even if you don't shorten the gold lead, or even if it gets worse, it's still an improvement due to how gold inflation works. And finally, the third most common pain point players have, only 16% more powerful than you. And it goes without saying, when everyone is full build, then gold leads don't even matter at that point, as you can't convert that extra gold into items. Long story short, win behind early just by delaying the game, even if you don't shorten the extra gold into items. Long story short, win behind early just by delaying the game, even if you don't shorten the gold lead, or even if it gets worse, it's still an improvement due to how gold inflation works. And finally, the third most common pain point players have is they say they can't go push a side lane because their teammates will flame them, spam ping, blame them for lost team fights, and even intentionally feed or AFK. Okay, so first, there's no way to have a high win rate in solo queue without your teammates flaming you. I have taught and played this game for over 10 years. I've done countless climbs through low elo with absurd win rates, and every time I'm flamed nearly every game I play. That's why I personally just mute everyone as soon as the game starts and just play my own game, and recommend you do the same. When you start using strategies that will actually get you to climb out of the rank you're stuck in, players in your games will naturally start flaming you for doing something different than them. But newsflash, that's why they're stuck at that rank. They don't know how to get out of the rank they're in. And that's why what you're doing is confusing to them. So why would you listen to the calls of the players you're trying to climb past? Additionally, to climb in solo queue, you have to adopt a carry mentality. Yes, your teammates will die, fall behind, feed the enemy, but the whole idea is that you're generating so much gold on yourself and getting so strong that it won't matter. You'll 1v9 carry the game anyways. Okay, but what about when they literally start intentionally feeding, running it down, or just leave the game? Here's the thing. No one solo queuing can achieve a 100% win rate, no matter how good they are. You need to adjust your mentality and expectations. During your climb, you will have unwinnable games, no matter how good you play, no matter how perfect you play. A very reasonable expectation you should develop is that around 1 out of 3 of the games you play will be unwinnable. You don't know which games those will be though, so you still have to be level-headed and try your best, no matter how doomed the games feel. And I know losing 1 in 3 sounds like a lot, but that would still mean you'd have a 66% win rate, which is incredibly high and makes for a very fast climb. Here's the thing though, League actually has pretty high short-term variance when it comes to solo queue. What this means is that even if you were using a strategy that had a true win rate of 66%, even over 100 games, you could encounter a win rate variance of like 7%, meaning 2 players using the exact same strategy, at the end of 100 games, one of them could have a 59% win rate, and one of them could have a 73% win rate just due to luck. The more games you play though, the less the statistical variance, and the closer you're going to get to your true win rate. There's a reason why they call it grinding solo queue. It really is a grind. So adjust your expectations to fit reality. Trust the process, keep a good mentality, and the results will come with time. And if you want to speed up that process and supercharge your win rate, then you absolutely need our brand new Season 14 multi-chapter courses teaching you how to carry as a top laner, jungler, mid laner, AD carry, and support. It doesn't stop there. We have new courses on macro, wave control, trading, settings and hotkeys, CSing, vision, mechanics, low elo mistakes, the list goes on. You can then head on over to our smart commentaries, select your champion to watch live commentaries from challenger experts teaching you how to carry out of the exact rank you're stuck in. You can try all of this out completely risk-free, since if you don't rank up while actively using skill cap, you'll get your money back. No questions asked. You can unlock all of this right now through the discount you can only get through the link below. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below to get the rank you've always wanted. Alright, and that will do it for this one. We here at Skill Capped want to thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Okay, that was a lot of information, but more or less I understand most of the video. I was about to, to pause it and play because I couldn't absorb all the information, but if I need to if I need to watch the video again, we'll watch it tomorrow, so no problem. I muted? No. Now it's time to play. I don't have infinite time, so I cannot hear again. It is three. Wait, I cannot hear. Why? I guess I have to open it again. Let's close it. So there are a few things that I had heard of before. Well, like roaming and trying to recall when after a push, after pushing away. But it's always good to relearn, or how do you say, to, even though I heard of those concepts, it's good to rewatch them and make sure I know them. I think the most important things on the video was on the first half of it. Then it was most of the times examples of why they work and all of that. So yeah, I'm trying to remember all the things, but it's impossible. So I'm just gonna try to focus on some things. That time is the most important thing, I think. And I'm trying to roam into empty lanes, and also an important thing that I didn't really know, or maybe didn't remember, was that you or me, I will get the most farming on the middle game, not late game, but middle game. So I don't need to um, like punish myself a lot if in the early game I don't have like 10 CS per minute or something like that. Reads, I know. Wait, do I hear the game? Yes, but it's a little bit low. Why is it not working properly? Okay, I think I'm gonna reset everything. What's going on? Okay, now maybe try to get some farming in the jungle, but I think that's too advanced for me because I'm afraid that I'm going to try to farm the jungle and maybe it takes too long, or my jungler wanted to farm and those minions or monsters. I don't know how do people call the farming on the jungle, and I don't know if I'm sure that I can farm them. I will try just to get the habit, but it's not a main thing that I should think about. And also I'm Zoe, so I don't think I can farm easily, especially in early game. I mean the jungle farm. I mean, we learned yesterday that I was able to one-shot the wizard minions. I know they aren't called wizard, but I don't know the name. Um, at minute 10, I think it was minute 10 or level 9 or so. And we remember, I need to remember too that the combo was QRQ and not QQR. I didn't think about that yesterday. And yeah, let's see what else do I need to know. Oh, well, I wanted to know, yeah, when to buy boots. When do I don't know how to search for it. Do um, when uh, when should I buy boots? Only. a second. Okay, there you go. Oh wait, there you go. Yeah, when to buy goods. Okay, where it is. What? Did they change the blank? I don't remember seeing her like that. Okay, do people have no idea when to learn when to buy books or what? You know what? Whatever. I just buy them more or less on the I don't know before the 10 minutes, I guess. At least the basic ones. Okay, we are against John. Oh, Sing. I hate this character or this champion, as people say here. But whatever. Okay, Brian. How do you pronounce this name? Brian. I don't know. But I have to pay attention to this guy because he he jumps a lot, right? And the ultimate is that thing that goes across the map, and I need to remember that I have to ignite him when I fight against him because he has a lot of um, health steal. It's called. This is really low for some reason. Um, oh, it's because of this. I don't think it's too loud on the video. Okay, so whoa, it's so loud. Like this. Okay, let's try to farm better than yesterday. Oh, I missed. I meant to hit him twice. Okay, so now one, one, two, this. Well, oh, I need to mute the chat. Oh, well. No, no. Really? Okay, I need to focus. Oh, I missed. Okay, I'm gonna warp here. Oh, look. Nice. Did he record? Oh, bad farming. No, he didn't. No. We're doing alright. I know Bria is bot lane. I knew it was too late. It was too soon, sorry. But again. No. Yes. Yeah, I think I'm going to recall. Oh no, it's a good moment to roam. He has to farm this, so I have time. Fake roam. We can roam. I hit him. Okay, he's dead. I lost some farm, but I got a kill, so I guess it was worth it. I might be able to get some farm, at least. Well, only one. One minion and yes, and one kill. Well, one assist. I'm not sure if it's worth it or not. Okay, so now we are in that time. I'm gonna try. Oh, this is bad. I'm gonna farm this and I'm gonna farm next wave. Well, it's a bad thing. Oh, wait. Oh, cannot see. Damn it. Okay, I'm gonna recall. No, I can't. Now I need. No, no, I missed. Fuck. It was now or I have to wait. My next wave. I knew it. Okay, I'm just gonna let him let those minions die. Wait, no, let me do that. I don't know what to do. I don't have mana, bro. Do I keep myself here? Nice. Okay, quick. Buy this and boots in this and this and this. Nice, perfect. It was a late recall, but I made myself a mess. Fuck, I missed. I'm gonna ward here. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go bot lane. Nice, good phone. I'm trying to do something. Oh wait, this one. I went back. I don't think it is here. I'm just gonna play safe. Okay, so in level 9 I can one-shot them. Making cut. Oh. What? Oh, hello. Is he dead? Yes, nice. Okay, now I'm gonna farm this quick and see if I can do something in bot. I missed 1 million more. Oh, I missed the cannon. Oh my god, I'm so bad. Can I kill him? Bonk in this? I don't know. But he's dead, so I'm gonna farm this and then recon to buy. Please. Fuck. I don't know. I made myself honest. He's gonna come, stand, I'm just gonna leave. Wait, I'm late now, I cannot leave. Okay, now I leave. Wait, I can help here. No, I don't think it was good. It was a good idea. Oh my god. Oh my god. I should have just recalled, bro. I'm sorry. To me, to my self of the future. Oh my god, I should have recalled. Oh, I don't have mana. That's it. It's a bad recall, but dude, I have no mana, I have nothing, I'm gonna die if I stay. Let's see. You could have bought a potion, but I know this is bad, okay? But the mistake is the mistake wasn't here. The mistake was not recalling before. Do you hear it? Now I'm much more powerful. And I'm not doing so bad on the farm. The bride here. I'm gonna try to, let's see if I could farm this. I don't think so. Only the little ones. No, it's not worth it. I'm good. Ooh, so close. Okay, now empty lane or something. I don't see empty lane, so I'm gonna try to help here. Or at least be annoying. Oh my god. Okay, I cannot do anything, so I'm just gonna go back. Nice. Now I'm gonna recall. Yep, recall 100%. And I'm going to buy, I don't know, this and this, yes. Okay, we are doing decent, I think. Look at our farm. Oh my god, we are being so much better. How? I'm not even roaming to other lanes. I'm just farming my own lane. No. Yes. Okay, I'm going to farm the next wave and then try to roam to bot lane. Where is Brian? I'm gonna walk here. Can I do something here? Yeah, I'm gonna commit. Oh, he flashed. Okay. I'm going back as fast as I can. I don't think, and maybe I lose 1 million. Or wait, I already lost 1 million, so it's gonna be 2 millions. Yes, perfect. No. Okay, decent. I don't know where Brian is. Okay, I know now. Oh, misclick. Didn't mean to hit. Okay, he might die. No, never mind. It's a fun. It's annoying bots. Okay. Oh, it's here. No, I'm going back. I'm going back. I'm gonna lose 3 minions. I hit him. Oh, this is bad. Nice, I got the cannon at least. Maybe. Stun him? No. No, miss. Okay, now I. Oh, what's. Are they here? Oh, nice. Oh, fuck. I cannot hit him. Okay, did he flashed? Oh, what is this? Oh, I think I'm fine. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna recall. Ah, fuck. Wait, should I? Maybe I shouldn't. No, I'm gonna save only. Oh, my bad. Okay, no, 100% I'm recalling now. Cannon wave. Cannon wave every one wave, right? I'm gonna sell this and buy this. Perfect. I love it, I love it. Oh my god, my farm. It's really much better than the rest of my team. Um, I didn't lose minions. Oh my god, it's so good. Oh, nice, perfect recall. I don't wanna miss. Now I go bot. Okay, where is Brian? Here. Okay, it's free, it's free. Okay, I'm on mid. Oh no, my turret. It was useless. Meanwhile, my left time, left time. Mm, what? Can you imagine if they give up? Okay, I lost focus. Okay, I'm just gonna destroy this. Where's Brian? I don't know. I'm going bot through around bot lane. Yeah, I knew. Just in case. And now I'm gonna find the way. Okay, I have to beat myself.
Quiero divertirme y hablar con alguien que no sea yo. Pero se me da muy bien escuchar. hacerlo. Lo siento. ¡Una siesta! Si no fuese tan bonito, no me importaría que todo esto esté a punto de
Tu
cambiar.
equipo ha destruido una torreta.
¡Te pillé! Pasito, pasito, y ahora un saltito.
¡Esto es mío! Un enemigo es imparable.
Cada día, cada estación. ¿Iba a lugar algo nuevo?
Racha del enemigo.
Este lugar necesita más unicornios.
Un enemigo está dominando.
Okay, I can unmute myself now. Nice. I think I played, all in all, I played better than yesterday. As I always say, because I'm not good at the game, I cannot see my mistakes. Maybe here right now I'm doing a huge mistake or something, but I have no idea. For me, I think it's good. I'm farming the cannon, and I think this is the best thing I could be doing right now. And then what I will do is try to help here because I will be in dead time. I'm not going to go here. I could, but I've heard that it's not usual to do that. And since here there's a lot of people, maybe a team fight, I know this guy's here because this is warded. Well, I think I know. I should have. I think I saw him getting inside here. Yeah. So yeah, I think the best thing is to farm the cannon and then. Oh my god, that scared me. Okay, yeah. So we are going to stop here. Let's see what I did here. I go back, I go down. Okay, I know he's here. Oh, okay. I thought I didn't remember this. I thought I was going to get too close to him or something and get punished, but no. Okay, so I just farm and that's it, I think. I'm just gonna stop recording now. It's been half an hour, so yeah. I had really good farm. I'm really happy. 25 minutes, 226 CS. Nice. Unlucky that my team gave up. Yeah, I guess we were losing, but there was no reason to give up. We just had to try, bro. I hate people that give up. I was level 16, oh my god. They were level 15. I was the highest level. Wow. So I was the best in the game, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I just find curious to point out, like, I didn't know I was doing so well. I'm happy. That means I'm doing good, and that's great. As long as my team doesn't give up, I think I'm in the right path. So yeah, that's it. I know I haven't seen the whole game, but it's alright. It's alright. And yeah, that's it for today. Time to upload the video and see you tomorrow. Bye.